Exciting news is buzzing around Matthew Stafford's contract situation with the Los Angeles Rams, especially with the Las Vegas Raiders showing interest. NFL insider Albert Breer from Sports Illustrated recently reported that the Raiders are one of several teams looking at Stafford as they prepare for the 2025 NFL season. Other teams like the New York Giants, Cleveland Browns, and Pittsburgh Steelers are also in the mix. At 37 years old, Stafford is entering the final 2 years of a 4-year, $160 million contract he signed with the Rams in 2022 after leading them to a Super Bowl win. However, his current contract has created some tension with the Rams front office. In 2024, his deal was adjusted to guarantee him $23.5 million in salary, along with a $12.5 million signing bonus and a $4 million roster bonus. This essentially turned into a 1-year, $40 million arrangement. For the 2025 and 2026 seasons, though, he only has a $4 million guarantee left, which is a big concern for both Stafford and the Rams. Because of this uncertainty, Stafford and his agent are looking for a new deal. The Rams have even allowed them to talk to other teams to see what his market value is. Recent reports suggest that Stafford is aiming for a new contract with an annual salary of over $50 million. This figure has been widely discussed, especially after NFL insider Peter Schrager mentioned Stafford's desire for a significant pay raise. The Rams are open to either extending Stafford's contract or trading him, depending on how negotiations go. However, if they do decide to trade him, they are likely to ask for a significant return, possibly a first-round draft pick. This is where things get interesting. I believe Stafford is still a solid quarterback, and the Raiders definitely need help in that position. Out of all the veteran quarterbacks available, he might be the best choice. But if the Rams are truly looking for a first-round pick in return, the Raiders need to be cautious. Overpaying for an aging quarterback could be a mistake, especially when it comes to giving up valuable draft picks. In my opinion, if the Rams want too much, the Raiders should consider walking away from the deal. I really believe the Raiders should be cautious about giving up high draft picks, especially when you consider the situation with the Rams. If the Rams don't want to keep paying Stafford, that's where the Raiders could step in. They would need to restructure his contract, but in the end, Stafford would still get paid. This would actually help the Rams by removing his hefty contract from their books, allowing them to explore other options at quarterback without being tied down to him long term. If the Rams manage to get a first-round pick from the Raiders in this deal, it would feel like they're pulling a fast one on us. Plus, the Raiders have a valuable top 6 pick in the upcoming NFL draft. On top of that, if they bring Stafford on board, they'll need to pay him over $50 million a year, along with whatever guaranteed money he demands. That's a huge factor here. Stafford is likely looking for significant guaranteed money for his last 2 seasons. Now, when we talk about Stafford wanting around $50 million per season, it does sound like a lot. But we have to remember that the NFL salary cap has recently increased. If you look at the contracts of other starting quarterbacks in the league, this figure is becoming the norm. For example, Dak Prescott is making $60 million a year, and I'd argue that Stafford is a better quarterback than him. Other quarterbacks like Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, and Jordan Love are all earning around $55 million, while Tua Tagovailoa and Jared Goff are at $53 million. Justin Herbert is making $52.5 million, and Lamar Jackson is at $52 million. Jalen Hurts is also in the mix at $51 million. That's 9 quarterbacks in the NFL making over $50 million a year. Given this context, it's clear that Stafford fits right into that salary range. For a quarterback of his talent, I think asking for that kind of salary is fair, even if he is getting a bit older. If the Raiders are only looking at a 2-year investment, I believe Matthew Stafford is definitely worth the money. He's arguably the best veteran quarterback available right now, and he could be the key to helping the Raiders compete quickly. If the Raiders are confident in their roster and believe that a strong quarterback can make a big difference, Stafford could be a great fit. He's a Hall of Fame caliber talent who knows what it takes to win a Super Bowl. Last season, he led the Rams to the NFC West title and had a solid playoff run, throwing for over 300 yards against the Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, in tough, snowy conditions. Honestly, if it weren't for the crazy weather that day, the Rams might have pulled off the win. I still see Stafford as a capable quarterback with at least 2 good seasons left in him. However, the Raiders have a lot of needs right now, and they might not be in a position to pay him a hefty salary while also giving up a high draft pick, especially something close to a first-rounder. In my opinion, the most the Raiders should offer for Stafford is a third-round pick. If they can manage to take on his contract and pay him around $50 to $55 million per season, with maybe $50 million guaranteed, then I can see the potential upside of taking a chance on him. This approach wouldn't completely rule out the possibility of drafting a quarterback either. In fact, it could open up that option. The Raiders could draft a young quarterback and let him learn under a veteran like Stafford, rather than throwing him into the starting role right away. That said, the Raiders' offensive line is still a concern for next season, unless they address it through free agency and the draft. If they do bring in Stafford, who is more of a traditional pocket passer, they'll need to ensure the offensive line is solid to protect him moving forward. Ultimately, the situation is still evolving. Stafford hasn't requested a trade yet, and many analysts are keeping a close eye on how this all unfolds. There's a good chance that Matthew Stafford will stay with the Los Angeles Rams. However, if the contract negotiations don't go well, the Raiders could swoop in and make a move by offering a draft pick. But, as I mentioned earlier, the Raiders need to be careful. They shouldn't give up a first-round pick or take on a hefty contract for an aging quarterback. In other news, the Raiders have re-signed safety Isaiah Palomalu to a 2-year extension worth about $8.5 million, which breaks down to roughly $4 million per season. I think this is a smart move. Palomalu is a versatile and young defensive back, and this contract is quite affordable. He'll provide solid depth in the secondary. This signing might indicate that an older veteran safety, like Marcus Epps, could be on his way out, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Raider Nation, this is an intriguing development. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Would you want Matthew Stafford on the team? How much would you be willing to give up in draft capital? What do you think is the maximum the Raiders could offer the Rams in a situation like this? That's all I have for you in today's video. If you're new to the channel and enjoy Raider-related content like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. With that said, I'll catch you all in the next one.